Hello, everyone. This is Renee Piane and my handsome co-host for Get Real About Love, Clayton. What's
Hello,
happening
everyone.
this week?
Life is good here in COVID Central Los Angeles.
Well, as we all know, things are, the world is just kind of put on hold. It's been really shocking for the singles world. But we are here to inspire, uplift, and give everybody the tips. So last week, we talked about updating your online profile, right? So you're in the middle of the online thing, and many of my clients are. And I have to tell you, it is shocking because people called me to get updates from my flirting class. We talked about this, and I know you were on the flirting class. Have you been?
Yes.
Did
Pardon?
you did you enjoy the flirting class?
It's very interesting to hear the point of view of the opposite sex, of course, about how what you're thinking is landing over there. Sometimes the simplest thing that you say can be a flirty hookup, not a hookup, but a first word that gains someone's attention.
Right.
And then other times it's really, I think, very contingent on the situation. So we have to learn how to be flexible, and it was very, very entertaining. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, a lot of people called and said that they practiced my flirting with life techniques, and I actually have a 42-page flirting with life book coming out. It'll be up on Amazon very soon, because I really wanted people to know that a lot of times you miss the signals, right? And then people get depressed. So today we're talking about how if you are online or you're on Bumble and you're not getting action, that it could be your mental equivalent of your mind. After disappointments in dating, people lose their mojo, right? They get down a little bit because something hasn't manifested. But
Sure.
I'm asking you, and I know you've read this the book in Get Real About Love. Today we're going to talk about rituals that anyone out there, whether you're back in the game or you're trying to find a love again, how to get your mental mindset by doing rituals on a daily basis. And we had talked, I know you had talked about, talking to yourself, in the mirror, but these are things that you can do when you get home to keep you in the flow of believing that love is coming your way. So when you were reading it, Clayton, how did it make you feel? It's on page 194. Like your get ready for love to-do list. So I always say to people, and I'm going to ask you some of the things you wrote, what would you be doing right now? And we talked about this. If you knew the love of your life was going to be coming in the next 30 days. So,
Yeah.
yeah. So
Without question.
what did you write? I would be just curious. What if you knew, what would you be doing to get ready for that in advance? So this is what I'm telling everybody to do. This is a ritual that you could ask yourself. And if you pick up the book, you'll have them all in here. It's on, it's called Align Your Vision. So what did you write when, it's on page 194. It's a get ready for love to-do list. So
Well,
I'm just curious what you wrote.
yeah, I wrote several things. There are a couple of them have to do with business, about a pilot that I'm work on getting that contract set so that my business mind, it would be free and I could focus a little more on my social life.
Right. That's good.
To not get distracted by the cotton candy that's out there floating around on the sites. That's what I like to call it, because there's everything from video vixens to women who want you to be an instant dad for their kids,
Yeah.
and everything in between. So you have to really know, as you've noted many times, what it is that you want,
Mm-hmm.
and not settle. A big one for me was drop self-criticism and judgment. And this is where I think it ties in very easily with the rituals you're talking about, because letting go of this illusion of control, that I can control what other people, whatever their opinion is about me, and
Mm-hmm.
simply focus on loving myself and extending that love from my love kitchen, I like to call it,
Yeah.
to those around me. My belief system is that the right person will be manifest into my life.
Yeah.
And so this work you're talking about before sleeping, for example, I think creates a fertile flower bed for that.
Well, in the book, there's a whole chapter about looking at all the vision that you want to create in, you know, your lifestyle and food. And if you go back, we have 20 segments of this show. This is our 21st, I think. It's amazing. You can go on our YouTubes, which we'll give you the links below, to watch it in sequence because it kind of follows the book. But the manifesting rituals that I get people to do in my classes and people that are working with me personally are really, really important because number one, I have a book for women called Get Ready for Love. And then of course, Love Mechanics for Men teaches men how to get prepared. One of them is get your home ready in advance so that you feel comfortable inviting someone. Because sometimes people will go, oh my God, I started manifesting stuff, but I wasn't ready, right? So the whole thing of a ritual is to actually do actions that are going to take you in the direction of what you would be doing in the very near future. This goes for business, fitness, you know, family, all sorts of different things. But when I was getting ready for love, I got my place ready. Like my husband was going to be delivered in 30 days, right? So that was number one that I did. And number two, I painted, you know, my apartment. I got new towels. I got new sheets because I don't know if you ever break up with somebody and then you're laying in the bed with the bedding that you were, get rid of the energy of old relationships to have a fresh, you know, space. I had my refrigerator filled with, you know, drinks that men like and water and food. I always had food. And a lot of men, when I go to their apartments to look at get your love nest together, I look in their refrigerator. They got the ketchup, couple eggs, bread that's been in there for a month, and maybe some ice cream, right? And I'm like, uh-oh, if a woman was to come there, are you really ready? You know, and they'd laugh, you know, and then I'd go to their bathroom. And I mentioned this on a few of the other videos. So get yourself ready like you would if you were going out on a great date. And then the next thing, and I talked about this in the flirting class, is to have a bunch of outfits, dating wardrobe. Get your dating game wardrobe ready so that as you're using all these philosophies that we've been talking about on profiles, that you would know what to wear like that. So you have that pretty much together, don't you? Don't you feel like
I took a look around and I thought, you know, does my place feel welcoming? I think I have a very masculine sort of Southwest style.
Yeah.
I think a woman with an open mind sees, yeah, there's an identity here. You know, it may not be her thing, but one of the things I did a couple, 3 months ago was I hired a maid.
Yeah.
Comes in every 2 weeks. I don't have a wife anymore, so I needed somebody to come in and do, you know, to do all that deep cleaning that I personally don't have time or the inclination to do. So just things like that, making sure that the gardeners do their job well, so that my home is welcoming.
Yeah.
But the main thing for me has been to restore my own belief in love, which really took a hit for a while there. I felt that the divine guidance had airdropped something into my life, and it didn't turn out the way that I had hoped.
Right.
And so I had to step back and go, where did I step into perhaps some self-deception?
Yeah.
Or fantasy land that is about me. It has nothing to do with the other person. And I want to avoid creating that again.
But as you're moving forward, I know personally, because we've talked about it over the weeks, you can see the shift in your mindset by loving yourself, integrating the hurt part with the powerful part. And then as you take these rituals, like there's a lot of different ones in here. You know, if you're clear on a vision, this is the one that was really, this is the first ritual that I did. And I've shown this, I think, before. This was a journal that I created, not only for my career, about being a person that was giving good news and love. If you look on the back of it, I wanted a relationship. So I started, people would always say, well, you're not married. So it was pictures of people at the beach, which is where we live, at the beach. And it says, handle with passion. It's a precious gift. He loves me. Ways to make love grow stronger. So these are all words and pictures of a couple. But then I got even down deep and I created this. Now, this was my vision before I met my husband, Joe. And this is a businessman, and it says commitment and joy, and he has muscles, and you know, it's a balanced life, quality time, powerful, faith, communication, commitment, all these words. And then even my dog, this is the Caesar dog from TV, my home, my bed that looks exactly like my bedroom with the tree outside the window. And I don't think you saw my new bedroom, but it's all white. It's beautiful. First home, we bought our first home. So I created a vision of what my partner would be like and some of the adjectives to describe him. So many people, and you might be one of them, will have a vision board that you did 5 years ago. I invite you. People go, I don't need to do all that. I did that and it didn't work. Well, go look at it. Go take a look at it and update it. So I'm going to be teaching an online vision board class to update your vision boards. And I have a really cool process that I use. And I have one for travel, one for family, one for fitness, and one for love and business, right? So then each year I take each piece off and update it for that year. So you don't have to keep redoing it. Because you have a vision. I mean, you're getting ready to do a love show. You know, I think it's so cool that you've gone through all this work. Do you think that this will help you in your love show when you go
Well, it will,
to do?
you know, because as important as the, you know, looking great,
Yeah.
you know, I have some nice clothes. I'm not worried about that. I live in a nice area, in a nice home. I'm not worried about that. But I'm more concerned about where am I at mentally with my belief in love.
Right.
You know, have I recovered that? So one of the things that I do in line with your rituals here is I will stop at the end of the night and often do a meditation, because I realize the last thoughts that I'm thinking is what I'm going to take into sleep, and my brain is going to process that.
Right.
And oftentimes I'll wake up with it.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a functionality that I've observed. So I want to set the tone for what I'm going to be thinking about. And I'll do some affirmations, perhaps out of the book, listen to a meditation that's very self-loving and that I deserve to have what I long for in my life. You know, a woman who is fully present, obviously who's attractive to me, and visualize having this kind of a lifestyle. And that's challenging for me because I'm kind of a traveling guy.
Yeah. Well, you got to have somebody that's ready to go on the go, right? So this was my nighttime ritual, and I'm going to read a few of it. So this is exactly what we were talking about. Before sleeping, meditating, or relaxing, create the sensation to play certain music that becomes sort of that, it's an anchor for feeling that feeling of being loved, right? So I had certain music, I turned down the lights, and at night I would lay in bed, and it says, you know, imagine yourself, it said breathe, you know, take some breaths and get yourself relaxed and allow the feelings of being loved by a wonderful partner enter your mind. And how are they going to feel when they're there with you? What are they going to smell like? What is it going to feel like to touch their skin? You start to use all the senses, you know, their sound of their voice, you know, how they look, you know, the way, the things that they're going to be saying to you when you're in bed at night. And I used to visualize that. And I have pillows, like these huggy pillows. Well, this is one of my, I used to lay there with my pillow. I mean, it sounds so corny, but I used to think, oh, I can't wait to meet you. And I would like talk out loud as if my husband was there.
Well,
Now, this is like a visualization of living with someone. Now, you've lived with someone before and you know what that's like, but then you have to have that other equal emotional connection component to it, the good, you know, the good side. And the music that creates that emotion. So you're using all of your senses. And I actually have a recording of that to give to people. I'm going to be giving those recordings. I'm redoing it a little bit with really cool music so that you can fall asleep to that. And it makes you get into a heightened state when you go to sleep, and it makes you dream.
Yeah, that subconscious
dreams.
mind connection. You know, there's a lot of programming on YouTube nowadays too that has these theta waves and things like that that are making it clear the subconscious mind is always listening, even while you're sleeping. And a couple of times I've done an all-night meditation like that, where I'll go to sleep with my cell phone still playing a ritual meditation that has these theta wave undertones to it.
Yeah.
And it's a very interesting mind-altering experience, and takes me into a deeper sleep oftentimes.
Well, I have to, a few more before we have to wrap it up. We only have 5 more minutes. Imagine I used to be walking into my house and I'd say, oh my God, I want to imagine what it's going to be like when he's there, right? So I would walk into my apartment and I would go, hello, honey, I'm here. And my neighbors were going, did you meet somebody? And I go, well, not yet. And they go, well, why are you saying, hi, honey, I'm home, you know? And I said, because I'm getting ready for it. And I remember the first time that Joe was there, I had left him at my place and I came home and then I realized that it really, I go, hey, honey, I'm home. And I started to cry because it felt so real when I was doing it that it actually showed up like shortly thereafter. And another thing is, have you done this yet? I don't know. Have you ever written letters in advance to the person that you want to meet?
No, I have not done that.
Well, I would highly invite anyone listening, and even you, my friend, if you write a letter, and I did, and I wrote it, and this was actually something that I learned from a friend of mine years ago, and I did do it. And I put, I'm ready and open to meet you. I can feel you in my heart. So this is just a few sentences. Your smile warms me. Your embrace makes me feel protected. Your kisses melt me. I know you're out there, and we will know each other when we meet. I'm ready to adore you and be adored. Our lives will fit because we're a match made in heaven. And then I went on and on. And this was the most important thing to me. It says, when others see us, they want to know our love story and how they can achieve such love. So it goes on and on about having a home and being involved with the family and bringing love, more love and hope to the world. So whatever you feel in your heart that you're dreaming of, put it in writing and keep it, because when you do meet that person, you can say, I wrote you this. And I used to buy cards. Like, have you never gone to the store to buy a birthday card and you see this like love section and you're like, God, I wish I'd get one of those cards from somebody, right? So I started buying the kind of cards that I would want to give to my future husband. And one of them was a knight in shining armor. And it says, you finally have arrived. And I'm so glad to meet you, or something. It was really beautiful. And I saved it. And when Joe came, I gave it to him. I had planned all of it in advance. So think of how you're going to feel when they come. And I have to tell you, it kind of gets you in that romance zone. It really does.
Well, you know, what it all smacks of to me is that so many of us in our lives, we haven't felt worthy of the
Yes.
love that we want.
Yes.
Now, obviously, the reasons for that are myriad, from your appearance to some bad experiences. What this really says to me is I'm reteaching my subconscious mind that I am not only worthy of love, but I deserve to have a healthy, you know, relationship with a loving partner who sees me, who values me. I can step out of fantasy land. I can step out of chasing the cotton candy that's out there and really focus on what do I want that's, you know, a solid diet of love that I'm hungry for.
Yeah.
And I'm not shy to say that. I want that in my life. And online dating can be a very harsh environment for a lot of
Yes.
it, because we don't easily, we can know all these things, but knowing the other person becomes very challenging.
Yeah. It takes
And
time. You got to slow down and see, you know, it's like unfolding the relationship over time. And that's why people rush into love and fools rush in. But when you know your vision and you can communicate like you are doing very clearly about what you want, it helps things, like we said before, tell people you're looking for love. And then they go,
yeah,
you know, well, what do you want? And then you go, well, she's got to be this, or he's got to be this or that. You know, I'm an actor. I travel. So it could be a woman that has a lifestyle that's can go anywhere, and we could travel the world, and I can imagine us eating healthy and working out together, and then she could come on leave with the set and do her work from wherever she is, and we could travel everywhere. That's what I see for you. Somebody that's transient. And with the way the world is right now, there's going to be more women now that are going to be available for that lifestyle,
right,
like a
yeah.
fitness trainer, or somebody that's an image makeover specialist, or a social media expert, or a marketing and branding person that can work from anywhere. I see you with somebody like that, and I bet you my prediction will come true in your future, because I just know. And as we wrap up, I just really think that if you try to design a vision board, to do nighttime rituals, to speak your word, and to constantly talk to yourself about what you're manifesting in your life, it's like, I can't wait to meet this person, instead of, God, when is it going to happen? And prayer. Prayer is a big part. You know, we go to the same non-denominational church, and I used to pray all the time, you know, you know, about the type of man I wanted. And when I see couples, this is the last ritual, when you see a couple that has the type of love that, you know, you see that sparkle. Don't you see people like that? Like, you see people like that.
Occasionally. It's,
Yeah.
it's not as prevalent as you might think,
Yeah.
or at least it's not as obvious.
Well, when I saw them, I would go right. I mean, I remember going to the Hollywood Bowl. There was a lot of couples, and everybody sits around and has picnics, and you can see the people that are connected. So there was this two couples that were with each other, and I walked over and I go, "You guys are like glowing." I said, "How did you meet?" You know, I like to go over and say, "How did you meet?" And they go, "You wouldn't believe this story." And they tell me these amazing stories. So anybody out there that has an amazing story, I want to hear it, because people need to hear it. I believe my love story is super amazing. And if you want to go and read it, I'll put the link today at the bottom of this, because it happened unexpectedly and very shockingly, how I met my husband, but it was a miracle. So believe in miracles. And Clayton, I know that very soon, maybe we'll even be introducing this woman that you will meet in your life. That could have happened. But I advise everybody, if you can, pick up Get Real About Love, so that you can go through this fun life adventure changing process. And I'm just honored that you got to share your thoughts, because men do have different feelings about all this woo. You know, some men think it's woo-woo, but it really isn't. And if you would connect and read this is the kind of stuff that women have been doing for years. And men, if you would read it, you would have more of a superpower with women, because they're going to go, God, how did this guy know that all of this? You know, don't you think, Clay? Don't you think that women appreciate the depth that you've gone to through your process?
Yeah, the right kind of woman will, you know, because a lot of times I won't even get into it if I don't feel, you know, a very intriguing vibration, which is not all that often.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, the right kind of woman who has a spiritual path, who practices yoga, maybe, you know, is a healthy eater, is worked on herself, for example, appreciates a man who is asking those kind of questions, and is, first of all, doing his work to love himself and not depending on her to fill in all those empty spaces. That can be a very heavy burden for a woman, and part of that vibration for her that's not jiving with a guy, even though he may be attractive.
Mm-hmm. Well, to wind it up, I just want to say to everyone, I think that this whole pandemic that will be lasting for a while is offering everyone an opportunity to take a good look at their heart. And love right now is like the number one thing that everybody's wanting to learn more about. But if you get real with yourself and honest about how you were wired, all the things that we've talked about, I invite you, if you're watching this for the first time, go to the YouTube channels and go from the beginning, to give you lots of inspiration, because that's why we're doing this. I mean, Clayton, thank you. I appreciate, you know, your openness. And I think that women are wishing, as I said in one of our videos, Prince training was not available for most men. You know, women have dreamed of their Prince Charming, having everything together, baby. We want you to have it all together. And if you do this introspective work, it will make you more connected and really get clear on your vision, so that you can manifest what you want. So do some of these rituals, do the homework on your soul. And Clayton, I have to say, I'm just really glad that we're able to do this week by week. And one thing, when are you planning on going? Do you know when you're going to be gone? Because then we're going to have to connect with him in Italy. He's going to be over in Italy. Or
it looks like we'll be shooting in November, and there'll be some pre-production time. You know, it's all forming up now because we've changed locations. So,
well, God bless you. You're doing your vision, but here I am doing my vision, and my husband 18 years ago showed up magically, and my mother used to say, who's going to want to deal with somebody that's in the love business? They're going to feel intimidated. I said, no, they're going to be the perfect person. So think about yourself, Clayton, and anyone watching, about finding the perfect match for you, and really inject those values into your mind every night, that there is a divinely appointed person that was made just for you. Or maybe, you know, there's a lot of wonderful people out there, but you have to keep yourself open and do your speaking it, praying it, and thinking about it and meditating on it every day. And it really does activate the universe to send you what you really want. I can promise you that. So I invite you to do it. And do you have any final words, Clay?
Train your subconscious mind, you know, for success. I think that's, you know, people like Tony Robbins have been talking about this forever, and you've very appropriately brought it in, you know, wholesale to the romance department, because like you say, the vibration we're putting out is what we're going to attract. So
Yeah.
Our work is really important to do first, so that we don't just spin our wheels out there.
Yeah. So don't let this Corona situation make you upset. Use it to reflect, go deeper, and to get real about love. So I hope you enjoyed this. Please check out all my classes online. I'm going to be teaching the vision stuff. I'm going to be doing flirting, as people loved it. I mean, the last time I got a lot of calls. They love the flirting class, and I'm going to be teaching other things as well. I have a class for men coming up next week, the secrets into the minds of women. You have got to be on that, Clay. And I'm going to have some women come on. So we have a lot of fun coming up. So stay inspired. Keep your heart open to love. And I promise that it's going to show up when you least expect it, depending on your mindset and the openness of your heart. So thank you for opening your heart, Clayton. And we thank our audience for being here each week. And we want to hear your comments and any topics that you want us to discuss, because there's so much more to discuss. So we will talk to you next week. And in the meantime, keep your heart open to love. We'll see you soon.
Thanks, Renee. So long.
Bye-bye.